to my channel. Today we are talking all about things that you should do if you're going to a new school as a music teacher. This video is from anyone who's just starting their career or to veteran teachers who are moving schools this year. So let's jump right on in to the things that I suggest you do when you are starting at a new school. The first one is to take an inventory of what is in the school. When I take inventory, I list the different instruments and materials that I have, and then I also put the condition of them so that if you were to leave the school, you have evidence of how things were when you arrived. So if something's damaged, you don't get blamed for the damage on it because it was already damaged when you arrived. The other thing that inventory helps you know is it will show where the gaps are in your supplies. So when you've done an inventory and you realize you only have 2 egg shakers, you'll know that you need to get more egg shakers moving forward. Also, along with doing inventory, I would also suggest that if things aren't labeled, that you label things that belong to the school. Do this before you start to bring any of your own stuff in. This includes things like resource books, instruments, any picture books that are at the school, anything that was at the school when you were there. Make sure that it's labeled as the school's property so that if you move in the future, it'll be easy for you to distinguish between what belongs to the school and what belongs to you. The next thing that you should do when you are at a new school is meet those most important people in the school. And you know who I'm talking about, right? Your secretary, your custodian. I'm sure you've already met your administrator. The people who will be working closely alongside of you. Meet those people because they tend to hold the key and the secrets to how the schools run. If you can make friends with your secretary and your custodian, you will be golden. They will be willing to do things for you. They will kind of foresee issues that you'll have. They'll let you know about things that are going on within the building. So make friends with those crucial people and know how crucial they are. As secretaries and custodians and administrators, they make the school run. They know what's going on with the kids and with the building. And if you're in the know with them, you'll also know what's going on throughout your building. The next one that I would highly suggest you do when you are starting at a new school is to familiarize yourself with the school procedures. That is all the way from what does a fire drill look like at the school, what does a lockdown procedure look like at the school, to as the music teachers, do I go and get my kids or do they come to me? Is there a photocopier that I'm just supposed to use or can I use any of the photocopiers in the room? How does the photocopier work? What are some quick solutions if it jams? Can I use the laminator by myself or do I give my laminating to someone else to do? How often do we have school assemblies? When is my turn to do supervision? All of those school procedures will be different from school to school just because it's a different staff, it's a different environment. So making sure that you know what those school procedures are at your new school will be super, super, super helpful to help things run smoothly. Some things that I did is in the beginning is I asked a lot of questions, but I also just watched how things happened. A good example of this that I have is bus supervision. So in our school, one teacher usually does bus supervision. So prior to it being my week to do bus supervision, I went and watched how it was done so it looked like I knew what was going on. It kind of falls under that like fake it till you make it claim. But if you watch and observe how other teachers are doing their routines, especially teachers that have been there for longer than you have, you'll often catch on quicker to how things run in the school and what the expectations are and all of those different things. But along with observing, make sure you ask questions because that will really, really help your entire situation. The thing that I would recommend is talk to this teaching staff about what they liked about the teacher that was in there before you and things that they would like to change. I often see this as a music teacher that you sometimes don't have a direct teammate on your team. So you need to kind of be teammates with everyone in your school. So having conversations about what did your kids really like that the previous music teacher did? What did you really like? What did you notice about her classes? What his or her classes? What went well? And then what are some things that you would like me to change as the new teacher? What were some things that didn't go so well? What were some things that could have been given more clearly communicated? Things like that. You'll often find, or what I've found, is communication is a big one. They'll either love how the previous teacher communicated or they won't love how the previous teacher communicated. Classroom management might be something else that you also see. I know some music teachers tend to shy away from classroom management, and if something happens in their classroom, they kind of leave it in the hands of the classroom teacher. That's not how I do it. If something happens in my music class, I deal with it. I do often let the classroom teacher know, but I also let them know that it's been dealt with. So finding those different things that the other music teacher did really well and the staff really liked, and then also finding the things that they would maybe like to see be done differently next time, or would even just like to see some changes, some new ideas, things like that. The next one that I would say, this might be the most important one onto the list, and it kind of goes along with what I had previously talked about, but find out what your job and your role is outside of the standard teaching kids music. We all know that as music teachers, it's our job to teach kids music. We need to teach them quarter note and half note and how to sing and all of that. But often as music teachers, we sometimes have additional responsibilities, kind of in that other duties as assigned category. Things like Remembrance Day concerts, Christmas concerts or holiday concerts, spring concerts, performing at assemblies, having the microphone set up for when there's class assemblies. Finding out both what is expected and what was previously done by the teacher will better help you prepare for the year. And I truly think the sooner that you have that information and the sooner that you know kind of what the unwritten expectations are, the easier it will be for you, because it won't be October 15th and you have your administrator coming to you and saying, by the way, the music teacher does Remembrance Day, which I'm very thankful has never happened to me, but I've heard horror stories from colleagues that that does happen. And then on the flip side, so that you're not planning to do things that aren't your expectation. Maybe in your school, you don't do the Christmas concert all by yourself. Teachers prepare in their rooms. So then you're not planning for a Christmas concert that you don't even have to do. So just making sure that those unwritten expectations or those additional duties as assigned are laid out very clearly right from the beginning, either in your interview or when you accept your job or within like the first week of school, so that everyone's on the same page and that there will be no miscommunication about those things. Because for some schools, they're very important, and for other schools, for the people that I've talked about, they aren't as important and there's other priorities in the building. So as long as you're in the loop as a new teacher, you will be golden. Along with that, you can say no to things if you don't feel like you can handle it all. So just remember that there could be other things that the previous music teacher did, whether it's other duties that assigned or even normal classroom things, but know that you can say no. But again, it just needs to be communicated clearly and early so that everyone's aware and that no one's surprised when things come up and things change. And the last one is likely the most fun, and that is setting up your new classroom. So some things to think about when you're setting up your new classroom, or what I thought about when I was setting up my new classroom, is what do I have and what do I need? And how is this going to work best for my teaching style and the students' learning style? So finding all of those different things and finding a way that works is the most important part of setting up your classroom. I had a very supportive administrator when I came to my school, and she told me that I could keep what I want and I could get rid of whatever I wanted. And that was so nice to hear, because I didn't feel pressured to keep certain things. For instance, the music teacher before me had the students sit on like gym benches, and that wasn't something that I want. I do lots of movements, I do lots of instruments, so I have my students sit on the floor. And it's fine, the students will adapt to it. You're a new person anyways, they'll adapt to new ideas and changes. So all of that, thinking about how you can set up your classroom to best serve you as a teacher and to best serve your students, is what's most important. And don't be scared to change things, because you're a change. You as the teacher are the change. So the classroom will likely change as well. So that is all I have for today about my little tips and tricks to being a new person in the building. Sometimes it can be more challenging in some buildings than others, just depending on like the staff climate. But I hope that wherever you end up, you are able to fit in well and be a good fit for the building and for the students. So if you found this video helpful or interesting, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share so that more people can find it and get the helpful information. And on that note, until next time, have a great one. I'll see you later.